Hello, Aries. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight, it's actually morning. And this morning, I am here to read your tea leaves. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So Aries, today we have the energy of the Queen of Swords. We have the Revealer. She is a really, really hard, a very hard archetype. She is, I take no, prisoners. I take no BS. I am just absolutely over it, right? And we've all been there. We've all been to that point where it's just like, okay, what's next? Because I'm not dwelling in this superficial place. I am not going to stay where things, people, places don't serve me well any longer, right? I'm here to do the work and do it in earnest. And so we have the Queen of Swords, and I'm happy to see her. I'm happy to see her. So let's go ahead. We're going to turn this thing here, this bowl, and then we're going to give it a tap, tap, tap. Okay. We'll lift it up and we're going to take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And hopefully this sounds okay. I have been soundproofing. I don't know. I had a fuzzy sounding video the other day. I had some issues with the mic and, anyways, I hope this one sounds good. Obviously, it will be in post-production before you hear it. But I hope the quality of sound is getting better. All right. So, yes, thank you for being here, and let's get started. So we have the bat. We have a bat, and we have like this little smiley face. Here's the bat. You can see the kind of head here and the wings spread out. So in movement, I also see that we have a heart towards the bottom. It is a pretty large size heart here. So I feel that you are definitely moving into a more night side energy. And what does that mean? Think lunar, think very emotionally fueled, lots of water energy. Also, dwelling in a place of creativity, of vision, intuition, and really kind of this, if you could imagine, a very full, pregnant kind of feeling, right? And now I don't necessarily mean physically, right? But I mean, yes, you have all of these things coming together in your mind, in your mind's eye, and such a inspired energy, a motivated energy to do something with that. Not even just create, not even just manifest it, although that I think is what's next, right? But ultimately, it feels right now like you're finding your way into it. You are experiencing the thing, right? This overwhelming feeling of what? I feel like it's almost kind of a nostalgia. Now, we've gone into, yes, Saturn. I know we don't like to talk about Saturn's influence on us when it shifts, because it is slow moving, isn't it? And when there is a shift, it is felt, like tectonic plates shifting, right? Like a earthquake coming upon us, or beneath us, really. And So we've moved into Aries, Saturn and Aries, which hasn't been since the 90s. And this is a time where we're going back into our self-histories. We are clearing out some blockages, things that are, very fundamental to our identity, right? And so I feel like there's been kind of a shift for a lot of us of this almost very nostalgic and yet kind of terrified feeling. And I don't think that it's really that there's something from the past coming forward to confront you so much as you're feeling it on the wind, right? You're getting little glimpses, feelings, being pulled into these very rich impressions of whatever it is. You smell something like a food that you remember from childhood. You happen to see, somebody has like the same wagon you had when you grew up. Or, and I was thinking of those like radio flyer wagons. Was that the one? No, radio flyer was the tricycles, I think, right? Or the bikes. What were the wagons? Were those also? I can't remember now. If you know, let me know in the comments. This is very like Americana. I know. But I feel a lot of us being pulled into that old place. And so I feel that you moving into this night side energy, it's like opening the curtains to the theater where we can begin to process some of that old stuff. We draw it into this place, this safe environment, right? And that's what the universe is offering us right now, is a key. Now, it's not shoving us through the door, that's for sure. But it is telling us, hey, we're moving through this period of time where the work can be done, and it can be done well. It can be done deeply, and it can be done with, some result. Because there are times when we get into these places and it feels like, yes, this is potent. Yes, I am here and I am with it. I am witnessing. I am experiencing. I am meeting you face to face. I want to do this work. And yet it feels like we are spinning our tires, right? We're just trying to go full force ahead and nothing is happening. It maybe even feels like, you're reliving some of those old things, and it's not helpful. In fact, it can be even more painful. So I see you really finding these kind of unconventional ways to deal with some of this stuff, because while I feel you looking backwards, right? I also feel the pull forwards, and that's ultimately what it is. It is that driver, that thing that says, yes, let's live a good life. Let's live to our potential. Come on now, let's figure this out so that we can get past ourselves. And isn't that the truth? Don't we usually find that we're the ones that get in our own path, right? We think all these other people hold us back, these other things hold us back. But no, it's almost always us doing it to ourselves. And when we come into that awakening, when we come into that realization, into that place of heart, of fire and water meeting one another, and we know. I always think of those, there's the like videos of dogs, right? And they're, one dog's on the street or on the sidewalk. The other one's behind a fence, in somebody's yard, their own yard. And they're barking at each other wildly through that fence. And oh my goodness, if they could only just get to each other, it would be mayhem. And then it pans out, and you can see that the fence stops, and they could totally just like walk around the side and find each other. And yet we like to stay there with that fence between us, fighting, arguing, right? And I feel like that's where you are realizing, here I am standing here arguing with myself through a fence, getting stuck in this loop, and I'm done with it. I'm going to do what I have to do to get out of this cycle because I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to walk away from this stuck point. So let's go ahead. We're going to move this around. And I see we have the boat down at the bottom here. You can see here the boat, and we have the bird flying. I'm guessing a seagull. Don't we love seagulls? Now we also have the letter M. So, and you know what? It looks like it says calm or earn. C-A-L-M, calm. And then we have the Empress right here. And we have a person here, and we have a person here. We also have a person here. So I believe that you come from a family of strong feminine personalities, very matriarchal. Even if it appears to be, the men are the head of the family, it's the women run things. And the children seem to be the focus, which, you hope usually that's the case in families, but not always. I feel that you grew up in a time where there were a lot of children in the family, and now maybe there aren't so many. You think back to growing up and there's 30 cousins at the family picnic or meetup or whatever, the reunion, and it's just laughing and yelling and playing, and this is how you remember things. Yeah. And now you have children or grandchildren, and you look around and you think maybe you even lament a little bit the fact that there aren't more kids in the family right now. And yeah, I feel that this will be shifting. There will be a kind of a wave of kids. But I also feel that there's almost a sense of I guess it is like a emotionally unavailable. I just keep seeing the mother as a statue, kind of this unreachable person. And I feel like maybe that's always been your fear. You don't want to be that person that closes themselves off into their tower. That maybe this is at times how your mother figure or maybe a grandmother, an aunt or something like this, this is how they coped with their life, with having children, with, working and providing and all the many things that, motherhood and being part of a family, the head of a family probably entails, right? And so I feel that you have spent a lot of your adulthood when you've been involved with children, raising children, taking care of children, that you make sure that you are very involved. You are definitely like the kind of parent that was on the floor playing, getting all up in the mix, the tag, and being silly and being there for your kids, right? Being that person that they could trust not to go off the deep end, when they did something wrong or there was something they needed to tell you about themselves, about their lives. And so I feel that this is the dream for you. I feel that this has been one of the great works of your life. And I feel that this is something that you need to remind yourself that you have diligently and devotedly and belovedly and with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, right? Have worked to change the direction of the family, the direction of connection, of, these generational things that we kind of, take with us. And we all have them. And we all remember exactly what it felt like to grow up with these things living. And they live within our families. They live within our homes. The words we say to each other, how we say them, how we treat each other, our priorities, the way that our parents, conditioned us, intentionally or not. These are as much intelligences as anything else, right? Now, it might be more along the lines of like a tulpa or a thought form, of course, but they affect us. And I feel that this is the work that you have been doing for years here. And as you are, I feel coming into this next period of your life, as you've begun to really step into the next great chapter, it's kind of almost like I need just a little bit more closure before I move on. And do we move all the way on ever? I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet, so I don't know. But I know that there are times where we can do this work. And we get in our little boat. We start to make a lot of headway. We start to really venture out into the unknown. But it doesn't have to always be that work, right? At some point, we will find port, right? We'll be able to park that old ship thing, that boat, and hopefully, get up back on land for a while. But for now, this is where we're at. And we have that Empress energy. We have that Empress energy, and you can see standing up here, it looks like a person holding a wand, okay? Now, we also have, it looks like the letter T. We have, it looks like, where did it go? Right here, an umbrella. And then to me, in this particular angle, it looks like the house with the little, here's the house. We have a person standing here, and we have a person standing over here. And I keep feeling this energy of the magician, but also the high priestess, and this sense of not completely demolishing the past, but taking what is already there and reforming the thing, right? The foundation is there. But now it's like, okay, so we're going to take some of this old material and we're going to take some of this new material and we're going to build this next part of our lives, right? I also see you, and this I think is why this has been emphasized in this reading. I see you becoming that next head of the family, the next one to really be uniting all of the family units, right, with your siblings and their kids and their grandkids and these kinds of things. And I see you being the person that, even if you thought, I have older sisters, I have older brothers, they have wives, and, they want to do all that. They want to be the ones. For whatever reason, it will be you. And maybe it already is. But I see you as being the one that is doing a lot of the karmic work in this generation of your family. And I also see you being the one that will take the lead, where others in your family maybe feel like they're the ones more apt for the role. I think you're the one that is going to consistently show up. And you're also the one that people trust, especially the younger generations of kids in the family. They feel comfortable coming to you, where nobody else in the family is kind of giving off that energy. So I think that's really important as well to note. Now, we have the T again. So I feel that there must be somebody with like a T name that, and here's the deal. We also have the sword. We have the Two of Swords. So almost kind of this there's a necessity for a difficult decision to be made. Something that, and maybe this is why you're going to have to be getting in that role of head of the family. Because I feel like there will be a situation where usually, somebody else would deal with this thing. You're going to be the one that's making that decision. And I feel like, ultimately, I feel like for anybody else in the family, it's like they feel like it's an anchor. Like they don't want to be weighed down by the need to be making decisions, or maybe you're the one that always goes to the nursing home to see your parents and none of the other siblings do, or you're the one that's taking care of them while nobody else is seeing them that often, or these kinds of situations we find ourselves in sometimes, right? And it's not uncommon. It's not an uncommon occurrence, not by any means, but you are the one that is stepping up. And I don't feel like it's a pride thing for you, because we also see this often as well, right? Somebody who really takes care of everybody because they want everybody to know they take care of everybody. And I don't feel like that's the thing. It's just it's a natural instinct for you to be there, to be showing up for those that you love and care for. And so, yeah, I do. And it's not easy. So prepare yourself, because no matter how fortified you are, when you have to start making decisions for the greater collective of your family or somebody within your family, it's never easy. It's never easy because you care about these people. You care about how everyone is affected on a deep level. Plus, people, just feel familiar enough to act any old way. And that's another consideration. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to do 3 lucky numbers. Number 49, number 55, and number 79. All right, now we are going to do our, and what are they called? Let me make sure. The Dreamer's Deck. That's the name of these cards. And they are affirmation cards, and we're just going to go ahead, flip through, stop where it feels right. And it says, I know that exploring my passions will lead me to my purpose. I am doing what feels good. I am doing what feels good. All right. I'm about that life. I think we all like doing what feels good once in a while. All right, let's see. We also have the Wild Bohemian affirmation cards, and I'm going to flip through. These are the fire element. We were doing the indigo sage cards, which are part of this collection, and those ones were the air. Now we're into fire. So we have number 29. I am seer. You know how to clear and renew. Art and creativity are your magnificent tools. All right. Okay, wow. Aries, Aries, Aries. It's so nice to have spent this time with you. I am so excited. We are coming into summer here. Things have been busy. I've been on and off recording. My daughter just got out of school, so I've been kind of focused on getting our routine and schedule changed a bit, getting everybody back on track here in the household. So I know it's been a little hit or miss if videos are coming out. So I appreciate your patience. I anticipate more time to film this summer, and then, going forward after that, it looks like it's going to be easier in the school year as well. So I appreciate you all so much for sticking with me. I love you dearly. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Let me know how you doing, what's going on. What do you have going for the summer or winter if you are in the southern hemisphere? Other than that, I want to say again, I love you, I love you, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk soon. Good night, good morning, wherever you are.